As dark the lightning streak, a glory fell nearing until the rapt eyes of the sage looked out from luminous cloud and, strangely limbed, his face a beautiful mask of antique joy, appearing in light, descended where arose King Ashwapati's palace to the winds in Madhya, flowering up in delicate stone.
Yeah, I would just say that appearing in light descended where arose King Aswapati's palace to the winds. So we always talk about Sri Aurobindo not using many commas. And here's an instance where we have to almost put the commas in ourselves because
Yes,
we see Narad descending like a lightning streak, darting. You know how a lightning streak darts, it just comes out of the clouds suddenly. And then this glory fell. This is glory of Narad falling and nearing until he looks out from this luminous cloud and strangely limbed. You know what limbed is, huh? A painting like a painting. His face, which is a beautiful mask of antique joy, appears in light, and then he descends where King Aswapati's palace to the winds in Madra, flowering up in delicate stone, arose. See, so we transpose some of the poetry to make the meaning of the line a little more approachable to us.
yes,
And here we see that we have the definition of Aswapati um, from a letter of Sri Aurobindo to a disciple. It's listed now as the author's note, but it is not the author's note. It is just a part of a letter from Sri Aurobindo to a disciple. And where he says that Ashwapati is the lord of the horse. This image of the horse, you know, we have it in Savitri later on as her horses pull her chariot. And her human father is this Lord of Tapasya, which Sri Aurobindo tells us is the concentrated energy of spiritual endeavor that helps us rise from the mortal to the immortal planes. And of course, Madra, we have the proper names from Sri Aurobindo's works, that glossary that someone has made very well. It's the name of an ancient country in northwestern India, mentioned in the Mahabharata. The territory extended from the river Bias.
there welcomed him the sage and thoughtful king. At his side, a creature beautiful, passionate, wise, aspiring like a sacrificial flame skyward from its earth seat through luminous air, queen-browed, human mother of Savitri.
So we know that
There, for,
the queen is, they don't give her, Sri Aurobindo doesn't give her name. I don't know, but Deshpande has found the name of Dumatsena's wife, but Sri Aurobindo also doesn't mention her by name. So we do have Savitri, and we have the glossary and index, because in the Mahabharata, Savitri is the heroine of this tale. And she, well, we know the whole story of her, but what Mother says is very interesting. She calls Savitri the divine word, Actually, Sri Aurobindo calls her the divine word, and the daughter of the sun, the goddess of the supreme truth, who comes down and is born to save. And then in his letters on Savitri, Sri Aurobindo says she is represented in the poem as an incarnation of the Divine Mother. And this is something that I think we all have to take deeply within us, that she is not the entire Divine Mother. She's an incarnation of the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother is above all of these things, and she's the Divine Mother of all the worlds. But one comment that Mother made to Udar has always touched me. She says, Savitri is a mantra for the transformation of the world. So we see that Narad has descended, and Sri Aurobindo says the sage and thoughtful king welcomed him. And the Queen Mother of Savitri has also welcomed him. He's come skyward from its earth seat through luminous air. And then we see that, continue now, because this is so beautiful with these descriptions of his visit.
There, for an hour untouched by the earth's siege, they ceased from common life and care and sat, inclining to the high and rhythmic voice, while in his measured chant the heavenly seer spoke of the toils of men and what the gods strive for on earth, and the joy that throbs behind the marvel and the mystery of things.
A couple of mistakes here. You said and the joy, but it's just and joy.
And joy that throbs behind.
And the other one is rhythmic, not rhythmic, but rhythmic.
Rhythmic.
There's no rhythm in it, see? It's just rhythmic. Right. So, for an hour, of course, this hour is just a word here. It could have been many hours. And Sri Aurobindo just says, for an hour, untouched by the earth's siege. What is this earth's siege? Well, it's the common movement of men and matter. This is the earth's siege, the constant, unceasing movement of men and things. And in that hour that's untouched by this earth's siege, they ceased from common life and care, and they sat inclining to the high and rhythmic voice. Well, I'm obviously not the same Narad because I have a deep voice. And this is a high and rhythmic voice. Well, in his measured chant, the heavenly seer spoke of the toils of men and even what the gods strive for on earth. And joy, he speaks of that also, that throbs behind the marvel and the mystery of pain. Well, when we get to pain, we will see that Sri Aurobindo says that all pain can be turned into ananda, no matter how serious the pain. I don't know if I told you about this couple in Southern California. Did I speak of them?
No, no.
Well, their names are Joy and Carl Herzog. And I think they're very close to their 65th wedding anniversary. And when I first came for my first talk at the Southern California Plumeria Society, they invited me to go with them for dinner. And they took me to an American Indian casino. The American Indians own most of the casinos in America. And at this casino, the dining area was the most beautiful I've ever seen in my life. There was a table for all different kinds of breads, for all kinds of soups, for all kinds of vegetables, all kinds of meats, all kinds of desserts, all kinds of drinks. I mean, you could have spent 24 hours just eating. And what does he tell me? But it comes out of his mouth. And all I can tell you, Sanjana, these are moments that are the gifts from Mother and Sri Aurobindo. He tells me that he had a very serious operation. I think it was an inguinal hernia or something of that nature. Extremely serious. They had to make a very deep cut. So they take him into the operation theater, and the anesthetist says, I'm ready now. And he says, no, I don't need any anesthesia. I will just meditate. And through the entire operation, he meditates. And when they finish it, he comes out of it, and there's no pain at all. This is an ordinary man who loves psychological perfection flowers, and he shares this with me. Well, I'm diverting here because it's very important for me to tell you these things. After I am introduced at the talk, I always begin with a passage from Savitri. This is people who know nothing about India and they know nothing of Sri Aurobindo, and yet I read Savitri to them. So at the end of my talk, a very elderly lady comes up to me and she says, "Where, sir, can I get that book? I must have that book." And I give her my copy. And then this other lady who had taken me around during the day, and she was showing me the gardens of the different families that grow plumerias. And she takes me to her house, and she has two sons. They're young boys, not yet teens. And it was the first time I had seen a disappearing pool. And they lived on top of a mountain, and the pool seems to just go over the edge of the mountain. It's an amazing. You probably have seen some of these disappearing pools.
Yes.
They're beautiful. So at the end of my talk, she's the last person who comes up to me, and she's in tears, and she can't hold back her tears, and she embraces me and embraces me and embraces me, and she says, "I was looking at you and I saw a different person. I believe she's the mother." And she saw Mother's picture. And 3 months later, she passes away of cancer. The marvel and the mystery of pain. And I guess I have told you about the Romanian man who was. No, told you that one either. Well, it's all about marvel and the mystery of pain. He was in the French resistance, and he would take information to the resistance fighters inside Nazi Germany, so they would know where the Nazis were massing, and they told him, "Don't go tonight because we think there's a great danger you'll be caught." And he said, "No, I have to go." And he went and he was caught by the Nazis. And they put him in jail and they begin to torture him. Horrible, horrible torture. And during this torture, after a few days, he looks up and he sees this figure with a white beard. And this man tells him, I will teach you how to go out of your body during the torture, and you won't feel anything. And when they finish torturing you, I will show you how to come back into your body. And he does this for week after week with this man. And one day the man says, he's a Romanian, as I said. He says, what is your name? And the man said, my name is Orbin Dogush. And he thinks he's a Romanian, Orbin Dogush. Uh, the end of this story is so beautiful because this man came to the ashram and met Mother years years later. And the book is in the ashram library and it's called The Lost Footsteps. You might be able to find it on the internet, I don't know, but it's a beautiful story of this man and Sri Aurobindo who helped him. Okay, back to Savitri. What does Narad do now?
He sang to them of the lotus heart of love with all its thousand luminous buds of truth, which quivering sleep veils by apparent things. It,
Yes, this lotus heart of love has these thousand luminous buds of truth in it. And that lotus is quivering because it's sleeping veiled by apparent things. We don't realize it. We don't know that it's with us at every moment. We forget about it and we lose that joy of that lotus heart of love. Now he continues speaking about it.
it trembles at each touch, it strives to wake, and one day shall hear a blissful voice, and the garden of south shall bloom when she sees where her discovers Lord, a mind shuddering for of ecstasy, crept to the deep heart of the universe, out of her latter stupor, her mind's dream, she woke, she looked above God's unsaved face.
This lotus bud trembles at each touch, and one day it shall hear a blissful voice, and in the garden of the spouse shall bloom when she is seized by her discovered Lord. I could not find anything from Sri Aurobindo, so I asked the people who comprise the supplement to the lexicon, and Alok says it is the supernature, the ambience and the play of subtle and high energies and beautiful powers and forces that dwell in the Divine Mother's atmosphere. Amal said the garden of the spouse is the psychic domain of love. And Shruti said the garden is all manifestation. The spouse is the manifesting force, the spouse of the divine Purusha. So Go on to the next page. A mighty, shuddering coil of ecstasy crept through the heart of the universe. Now, out of her, did you, yeah, can you read out of her matter's stupor?
Out of her massive stupor, her mind's dream, she woke, she looked upon God's unveiled face.
Even as he sang,
Even as he sang, and rapture stole through earth's time and caught the heavens, came with a call of hooves, as if her swift heart hastening Savitri. Her radiant tread glimmered across the floor.
and that's all we'll read for now, because this is so beautiful, so filled with beauty. He says that this universe, and the mind of this universe wakes up out of the stupor of matter, and she looks upon God's unveiled face. And even as Narad is singing and rapture is stealing through earth time, and it has caught the heavens, there comes with this great call of hooves, Savitri, as if her swift heart hastening. Because why is she hastening? She wants to tell her parents that she has found her answering soul in Satchivan. And she's she's so she hastens so quickly to be there and to tell them this. She doesn't know what's going to happen. She doesn't know what Narad is going to be forced to reveal. And he doesn't want to reveal anything also. But this passage where mind, this deep heart of the universe, the words of Narad are creeping through, and matter and life and the universe's dreams that are in her mind. She wakes up and she looks upon God's unveiled face. See, Narad is the channel between the supermind and the earth. And you know that Sri Aurobindo said in answer to one of his disciples, I don't know much about Narad, but, and then he writes two cantos and more. And, and then he said, but Mother has seen him. And I believe in the agenda, Mother describes him coming down from the extreme heights down to earth. So that's a beautiful place where we could end. But have we done matter? Have you read matter yet?
No, we've not done matter.
And why don't we do that now? Because I know this
Yes.
is this has really touched you within this magnificent passage, and now it's going to become even more emotional when you see the Queen forces Narad to reveal much more than Aswapati did. Because Aswapati says he sees the cloud above Satyavan's head, and he says, if this is all, then
And
all
all shall
surely
be well.
there is more, then all can still be well. For whether it seem good or evil to men's eyes, only for good the secret will can work. But
You know, the day I got my vaccine, the first dose, I was very upset and I felt like I had betrayed mother.
Yeah.
and when I was weeping, weeping for hours, and then I opened Savitri, and I was on exactly that page where King Rashtrapati looks into his daughter's eyes and says, "I approve of thy choice, and well hast thou done."
Well, what you, what you must know within your soul is that Mother is constantly with you, and she will protect you.
Yes,
I also got vaccinated.
yes,
My doctor just said, go and get it now. And I wasn't listening to anyone. Unfortunately, I did not talk with Shadalu before that. And I got it, and there's no after effect and all. There'll never be an after effect because she's taken it up.
yes.
And she takes it up for all of us. So why don't you read Matter and then we'll break for tonight.
Sri Aurobindo. Matter is by no means fundamentally real. It is the structure of energy, the life divine.
And
Matter is the
physics has arrived at this now. Physics has arrived. They've even arrived at calling, at saying there is a consciousness in the world. That's a big progress. Have you seen Linda Lester's talk?
no, I have not.
Oh, all right. I will forward it to you. It's an amazing thing. It's one of the finest talks I've heard in years. Okay, carry on.
Matter is the form of substance of being, which the existence of Satchit Ananda, the trinity of existence, Sat, consciousness, Chit, and delight, Ananda, assumes when it subjects itself to the phenomenal action of its own consciousness and force. The matter is the body or field of a consciousness hidden within it, the material universe, a form and movement of the spirit. The Renaissance in India.
Very clearly, very
Yes,
clearly stated that matter is only spirit. And we have to see it as spirit, but the material form is just this movement and a form actually of spirit. We, we can say this desk is solid, but it's really moving with atoms and just
yes.
gives the appearance of being solid. Okay, carry on.
The creative energy in matter is a movement of the power of the spirit. Matter itself cannot be the original and ultimate reality. At the same time, the view that divorces matter and spirit and puts them as opposites is unacceptable. Matter is a form of spirit, a habitation um of
Spirit.
spirit,
Yeah, I said
life,
it
yeah,
again.
in life. Yeah. Matter means the involution of the conscious delight of existence in self-oblivious force and in a self-dividing, infinitesimally disaggregated form of substance, the synthesis of yoga. Matter is only so much mobile energy vibrating intensely into form. Essays in Philosophy and View. Spirit, and here in matter itself there can be realization of spirit, the life divine. Matter is but a form of consciousness, essays divine and human. Matter, a substance itself, matter substance itself, subtle or dense, mental or material, is form and body of spirit, and would never have been created if it could not be made a basis for the self-expression of the spirit, the life divine. Matter is a formation of life that has no real existence apart from the informing universal spirit which gives it its energy and substance, the synthesis of yoga. In fact, matter itself is only an obscure form of the spirit, the synthesis of yoga, for there seems to be no reason why life should evolve out of material elements or mind out of living form, unless we accept the Vedantic solution that life is already involved in matter and mind, in matter and mind in life, because in essence, matter is a form of veiled life, life a form of veiled consciousness, the life divine.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Thank you, Nancy. Namaste. See you next week.